What's up, everyone? This is kind of a impromptu video, if you will. Um, my best friend sent me a picture that just said thoughts, and I started getting all kinds of rowdy. So I was like, all right, nope, hold up. We're gonna have to talk about this shit. And it's this picture here. This is on. This is hockeyvice that brought this up. The NHL's most hated teams, and I'm going. All right, I don't know who the hell put this list together, but yeah, we're gonna do something here. Hold on. Is there a way I can get um, tier list maker? Make a tier list for everything. All right. Um, NHL teams. No, NHL teams. Um, NHL video games. Can we just get a list of the teams? There we go. All right, we're gonna label these most hated rivals, annoying, hard to hate. Who cares? Okay, give me a sec while I swap these around. Come on, give me this one. There we go. All right. So they said it was fucking itchy. You can tell that this was completely impromptu because I was not ready for this. So it says Colorado, Chicago, here, 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 almost done. Here, 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 and here. So this was how they had it set up, to where you have. Hold on, let's make this. Will you seriously piss off? All right, let's. There we go. That's better. Okay, so this was how they had it. Most hated was Boston, Las Vegas, which I still think is stupid that Las Vegas Golden Knights sounds much more fluid to speak than Vegas Golden Knights. Just it's missing that extra little Um, Toronto, Edmonton, New York, and then rivals are Colorado, Montreal, Philly, Carolina, LA, Tampa, Pittsburgh, Dallas. Annoying is St. Louis, Vancouver, New Jersey, Calgary, Winnipeg, Florida, Minnesota. Hard to hate is Washington, Seattle, Nashville, Detroit, Buffalo, and Ottawa. And who cares is Chicago, Columbus, Anaheim, New York Islanders, San Jose, and Utah. So we're gonna switch this up and do for real. Most hated Boston is up there. I would also have to throw Detroit up there. With how dominant Detroit was up until like the mid to late 90s, definitely was in the annoying as fuck and like hated category. Bob Probert in the 80s and 90s being just the goon he was, helped really kind of push that around. Vegas Golden Knights, I would agree. I wouldn't say Toronto is hated. I'd say Toronto's more annoying. We'll get to that as we kind of go through where they're supposed to be. I don't understand how the Rangers are most hated. The only thing I can think of is that this was made by an Islanders fan. Because how are you annoying if you're the Rangers when you're not really relevant, and you had the unfortunateness of having Henrik Lundqvist as your goaltender for his entire career and didn't get him a cup. So I can't put Rangers at hated. I'm going to put them in who cares, because they've just been kind of swimming in irrelevancy for too damn long. So who gives a shit? I would say in Edmonton hasn't really been a viable team since like 85, when they first came into the league and won 4 straight cups with Gretzky, and then the whole team pretty much just fell apart, and they've been living on the island of irrelevance ever since. The only thing I can even remotely say that it's Edmonton is hated is just from all the constant mentionings of Draisaitl and Connor McDavid, and you just get tired of hearing about it. It's like, I can understand, but that would put them more in annoying than I think it would be most hated. Boston absolutely deserves to be there. Marchand has pretty much solidified bringing back the old late 60s, early 70s Boston hit squad, and his just dirty rat bastard ass. I'm gonna say those three definitely are probably the most hated. I would say you could have thrown San Jose in there, because I don't care what anybody says, Joe Thornton's a dirty piece of shit, and I'm glad he never got a cup. That's where I stand with that. But like even Philly has kind of calmed down from their hit squads, and Montreal is nowhere near the relevancy that they used to be. I don't understand how Carolina is in the rivals thing. They should be an annoying. That's all there is to that. I don't really see anybody else who's just reviled. Now, me personally, Nashville would absolutely be up there, and so would LA. And there's one thing that really starts to irritate the shit out of me about hockey now. There needs to still be people involved in each organization that keep it at its purest. And what I mean by that is you cannot sit there and jeer the goaltender in the playoffs when they gave up 1 goal in the first period. Because everything that I've seen so far this season, when they're jeering the goaltender in the first period, those teams lose. So you need to be up by a minimum of 2 goals before you can start jeering the goaltender after every goal scored. Because then what you run into is, let's say you're up by 1 and then you're up by 2. You can usually start doing it on the second one. I usually say you need to make sure that you're up by 2 or 3 and then jeer completely after that. Depending on what the other team does. Well, we'll say the away team, because you're not going to have the home team jeer their own goaltender. So if you have like, what was it, Darcy Kemper and Stuart Skinner in the LA Edmonton series going on right now. I think Kempe got the first goal, and they were just going, Skinner. So that's twofold. One, that's on the organist, the person in charge of all the music, whatever. You're not allowed to do that yet. You need it, especially in the first period. If you're up by 3 in the first period, and the other team has like maybe two goals scored, then yeah, go ahead, jeer the shit out of them all the time until you get a goal scored against you. Then you shut the hell up. But when you go back up again, then do it again. There's a certain etiquette to it, and it pisses me off whenever they're going, first goal, start jeering. No, because most goaltenders will shrug off 1. That's not a big deal. You really start getting into a goalie's head whenever they get hit with 2. If they get hit with 2, especially 2 quick ones within like not even a full bench line change, then yeah, that goaltender's going to start going through all type of psychological shit. That's when you strike. Second goal, do it. But the first goal, no. And Nashville is notorious for being some of the douchiest fans on the fucking planet. I get so sick and tired of every single time their team scores at home, they start having, they used to do the hey, you suck chants. They finally got rid of that music, but they've worked it into other things. This is where I cannot stand the Nashville team or the Nashville fans, which makes me hate the team, is if they are down 4-0 and then all of a sudden their team scores, guess what? They're fucking doing it. They're doing the you suck. And I'm going, you're losing. How about you inbred smooth brain fuckers shut the fuck up and wait till your team's winning before you start talking about the other goaltender sucks. Mr. Damn, we landed Steven Stamkos and we didn't even make the playoffs because we were one of the worst teams in the league. Yeah, how about y'all shut the fuck up? How about you try that? Yeah. Shut the fuck up. So I'm gonna take them out of hard to hate. I want to put them in annoying, but I'm going to put them in who cares. Just simply because, show us something, bitch. You can't. Because your team sucks, your fan base sucks, everything about you sucks. It's funny that you're the ones that constantly say you suck, and you are the ones that are actually the sucky ones. So, yeah, piss on them. And LA fans, I can't stand them. Apparently, I'm the only one that remembers their cup run from 2011-2012 season where fucking hell, Jonathan Quick picked up David Perron by his legs, lifted him up, pushed and lurched himself forward, and literally WWE body slammed his ass on the ice and got no penalty for it. Now, I'll also say that 2011-2012 run was absolutely insane. You play a minimum of 16 games. Minimum of 16 games into playoffs. Every series is best of 7. It's not like baseball where you have like a playoff series where it's a best of 3 and then you have a best of 5 and then the last 2 series are best of 7. Nope. Best of 7 right from the get-go. And they played a total of 18 games, which means they swept 2 of the 4 series they played. We were one of them. That's not where my hate stems from. My hate stems from Jonathan Quick. Fuck that dude. I'm glad you never lifted another cup again, you raunchy dickhead. But you play 18 games. First round, swept. Second round, best of 5. Third round, swept. Finals, best of 5. It was absolutely insane. It was insane. It is the closest I think any team has ever come to pretty much just flatline sweeping the entire damn playoffs. I haven't looked any of that up, but from my knowledge, since I started following heavily, I've never seen it happen before them and since them. So I will give them that. So they can sit in rivals. I don't care about that. It's fine. They can sit in there. I can't say the Capitals are okay to sit in hard to hate. I can't. Because Tom Wilson has almost the exact same amount of hate as Marchand. Sure, Ovechkin has 3 goals away from being the only player to have 900 goals, and I hope he does it. I really do. I want to see some kind of stat like that. Because right now there are 3 players that have over 800 goals. Wayne Gretzky, Alex Ovechkin, Gordie Howe. And the fact that Gordie Howe has been gone for a while, he has still more goals than other guys that have started and come up through the league. I want to say I heard rumors or talks, if you will, about some of their lines is that they were told this line cannot be together anymore. You have to split this line up because it was just so dominant. And that's why Detroit went on such a freaking heavy ass, just we're dominating this like the Celtics in the 60s, 50s and 60s. Or it was just the 50s. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, insane. So Tom Wilson being under that same umbrella as Marchand, I can't put him in hard to hate. Do they go into annoying or do they go into the most hated? We'll come back to that one. Vancouver needs to go in who cares. Since the Sedin twins retired and Roberto Luongo went back to Florida and then retired there, show me how they've been relevant in fucking anything. They really haven't. The only time I can say that they're probably annoying is some of the fans are going, well, this is going to be our year. Well, if that's the case, then the Dallas Cowboys need to be put in the annoying category. I think Utah being in who cares is right. I think with how San Jose's been, that's right. Unfortunately, the Islanders are right in that same boat too of who cares, and so is Anaheim. I think Columbus would probably be in annoying if they didn't have Johnny Gaudreau's death. So I think them putting them there, but again, they've never made it out of the second round, so at what point do you go, so Chicago being in who cares is hilarious to me. But I can't leave them there. For me, Chicago will always go to most hated, but ever since Jonathan Taves and Patrick Kane and oh god, Crawford, I can't think of his first name. I don't want to say Brandon Crawford because that's a baseball player. Can't remember his name, but Crawford, Bufflin, Sod. Like, there's a ton of guys that came out of that team when they were pretty much winning the cup every other year. I got to throw them in annoying. That's just all there is to it. That's where they belong, is sitting in annoying. Okay, let's see. Come back to Caps. All right, so let's sort out this annoying thing. I would say Winnipeg being an annoying is perfectly fine. I'm okay with that. I think they're a little obnoxious when it comes to the playoffs where they have their Winnipeg whiteout. I'm going, y'all need to chill. But yeah, New Jersey. I'm gonna throw New Jersey in. Who cares? I don't see New Jersey really kind of turning things around. Like, yeah, they're in the playoffs now, but fuck, what are they at? Really? Because they're playing, you're not going to give me. Yeah, so New Jersey is on the verge of being knocked out. It says there's little over 13 minutes in the first, then they're up 2-0, which apparently road games are kind of hard to really win at. I don't think you can say Calgary's annoying unless you're talking about Braden Tkachuk. Because it's like the other Tkachuk boy, Matthew Tkachuk, went to Florida and he's a cup champ now. So I'm going to leave them right there. I can't leave Calgary in annoying because Calgary's not annoying. Calgary's who fucking cares. They just are. Minnesota, they kind of flop between annoying and who cares, because when they had that Zach Parise and Brian Suter deal where they got the exact same contract, and it was, you just slit your own throat. Because both of those guys said that they wanted to go and play in Minnesota and play in their home state, and that cursed Minnesota because I'm going, you got a salary cap to deal with, and like 25% of it is chucked into two players, so you had to just pick basement dudes. Had to play kind of like shit to start putting the team around them, and only once you got rid of them did you start getting into the land of relevancy. Kirill Kaprizov is okay. He's spotty now. It's just like Tigris from Anaheim. Zegras, sorry. And, Trevor Zegras had a great season, and then you turn around going, well, now where are you? Nowhere near relevancy. Same thing with Connor Bedard. Might not be Connor. I'm just going to start doing last names because I don't fucking remember all their goddamn first names. But Bedard in Chicago, and I'm going, and where were you guys? In the flooded basement. Got it. Yeah, those three there. I mean, obviously, I want to put the Blues here because we're hard to hate. But I'm going, how in the hell did the Blues get put in the annoying category? Was it because there was some other teams on Twitter that were trying to be like, hey, we're gonna take this and Laura something, the one who did the Glorious song, where we rallied around that and went on probably the single greatest cup run ever. And is that why we're annoying? Because it was an improbable but not impossible story. Wouldn't you want to know that you were part of history, that you were actually able to witness that as it happened? Sort of like the 2011 Cardinals Rangers World Series was arguably the greatest World Series of all time, just because of how things went, especially in Game 6, being down to our final strike. What was it, 3 or 4 times? I mean, come on now. I can say from our end, it was an incredible game and an incredible series because we did end up on top, but it was one of those, it was hard fought on both sides. How could you not enjoy that aspect of it? I mean, it was just an incredible, if you're a fan of the sport at all, you should have enjoyed that World Series, even if you didn't have a dog in the fight. So yeah, I don't know how we ended up in annoying. I really well and truly don't. But I think based off of how things went in 2018, 2019, and how things have gone, plus with the 4 nations and everything like that, I am going to throw the Blues and the Jets into rivals because they started a rivalry in there. And or is it annoying because of like Bennington's drama queen bullshit? I'm gonna throw us there because when we go on win streaks, people are like, "Oh my god, fuck these guys!" But wouldn't that put us more into rivals? I don't know, but I can't leave them in annoying because I don't understand how they would end up in annoying. Obviously, I want to put them in hard to hate, but you could almost just go, "Hey, we won once, and we had the single worst time to win, and then have a normal cup defense." Because we went into the COVID season hot as fuck. And then it was 3 months off and everything petered the hell out and everything just went to shit. So I still think the 2019-2020 season needs to be scrubbed. And much like the 04 lockout. But that's me. Colorado being in rivals, I can understand. However, I am going to do a shift here that some might not agree with, but if you were not around in the mid-90s, you don't understand how this was the greatest rivalry of all time between Detroit and Colorado. When you have Patrick Waugh and Chris Osgood meeting at center ice and fighting, and then it was because of their rivalry in the actual playoffs that they instituted the third man in rule. So if you were someone that jumped over the bench and went out onto the ice to fight, you were given a massive fine, a misconduct, and suspended for X amount of games or whatever. Like it was a severe penalty, and it was essentially the end of the goon era as we knew it. That good old hard smash mouth hockey was done and gone, and it was because of them. So I can't have Detroit up there without having Colorado up there. It's just not something that can go, or these two need to go into rivals. But Detroit's not really a rival-esque team anymore. But I think just because of the 90s, these two need to sit up here or down here. But I'm not going to make another category and put them in there. Montreal rivals, really? To who? Montreal is in who cares? They're not really a relevant team anymore. Let's see. So, again, Montreal is on the ropes. They play tomorrow night. And, yeah. How are they in rivals? They're not. They've not really been a team that exudes rivalryness in a long time. Back when Carey Price was in net and Yaroslav Halak was the backup back in the early 2000s, sure, you could probably put him in rivals. And then Halak was doing well, and when Montreal traded him to us, everybody in Montreal was like, what the fuck are you doing? He's the future. As much as I liked him, he really just kind of buckled, and Montreal made the right choice. And I mean, we can throw Montreal into annoying, because there were times that they should have been good and weren't, and the times they were good and failed. You're just kind of going, bruh, put them in annoying. I'm all right with that. Philly is rivals? No fucking way. There ain't no goddamn way. Philly is in who cares? No. I'm going to throw the Kings in annoying. Because they fell off a lot after their 2 cups. And the team just fell apart, and they never really got their feet back under them again. Sure, they're giving Edmonton a little bit of run for their money, and Edmonton is not putting up that great of a fight in this series. And I was talking with a friend, and I said, look, here's what I think is funny. You have the least in the East and the best in the West. Every single Eastern Conference team at the time of recording this video, with no games being decided yet, every single East team, there's one game left that could decide the fate for all 4 series. All 4 of them. One team's up by 3, the other has 1. So you have the entirety of the Eastern Conference. Half of the freaking playoffs right now is ready to be decided by a single damn game. And you have every series in the West is tied. How? I mean, I can't stand LA. I can't stand Trashville. I can't stand Chicago. But Trashville was living up to their name this past season, and I could not laugh harder. All those shitball fans and the shitball fandom, fuck them all. You guys are terrible. Be better fans, and you won't be in the who cares category. You might slip up to the annoying again. Although they were in hard to hate. No, it's easy to hate Trashville. No. A fan base that yells you suck and they lose that many games? No. Y'all need to knock it off, but so you can get relevant again and then try it again. And even then, I hope it's a curse and you just keep bringing it on yourselves again and again and again and again and again. Fuck them. Tampa Bay being rivals... Normally, I would not agree. I'd probably throw him into annoying, but Vasilevsky is the real deal. The defense that they have in front is a real deal, and I don't know, man. The fact that they're back in the playoffs, but yet on the ropes against Florida, I'm going. The needle has shifted in the battle for the Panhandle, hasn't it? Yeah. Y'all didn't realize that the Panthers grabbed that handle and put your ass in the skillet. Didn't see it coming. But for a long time, Tampa Bay's been in the hunt, man. Back-to-back cups is not an easy thing at all. Um, it's not easy to see teams do it, but they did, and kudos. And Pittsburgh being rivals, fuck out of here. Pittsburgh's in. Who cares? Malkin's been leading that team for the last 3 or 4 seasons. Crosby's been just kind of meh. Their turnstile between the pipes is never ending. And I think ever since, oh God, Matt Murray, that was their last good chance to really start trying to be legitimate cup runners. But Pittsburgh doesn't have it anymore, man. Malkin's in his twilight. Crosby's in his twilight. There's not too many players on their team that are starting to grab that spotlight. And for someone like me who doesn't follow them, but I'll watch like highlights and stuff, and there's not a whole lot of names that really kind of stand out, like Kirill Kaprizov for Minnesota. You don't have that in Pittsburgh anymore. They clung to Crosby and Malkin for so long, and now you're going, what are you doing? You were doing well. Your draft picks aren't coming up yet, so what are you gonna do? Dallas, I will still say having them as be rivals is probably a good thing, or a good placement. I would say yeah, and I'd probably put Florida in there. The way they've been playing lately, they are a force to be reckoned with. Not someone to really kind of take lightly. I'm going to put Utah in hard to hate. It's their first season. How can you hate them? They don't even have a team name yet. They're the Utah Hockey Club. They don't have a team name yet. How can you even hate on these guys? It's hard to hate on them. Like, they're just getting started. That's like saying, oh, this kid's going to be a dipshit, and he still doesn't have a healed belly button. I'm like, come on, man. Like, y'all need to relax. Capitals, though. Yeah, I mean, they've been my Eastern Conference team since the 90s, and the All-Star Games having the hardest slapshot competition. And for his name will forever be in my head as one of the hardest ever. Al Iafrate. His name has been just etched into my freaking head. I'm going to put them at annoying. Namely because there's also the aspect that I've seen, and it kind of bothers me. Stamkos is guilty of it too, so I really can't say too much on it, but it's between Stamkos and Ovechkin. Those dudes sit over on the right face-off dot, right at the hash marks, and they just kind of wait for the play to be developing over on that side, pass the puck around enough to where it seems like they're going to shoot from the left side, and all of a sudden zip it over to the right side, and Stamkos and Ovechkin just line up for a one-timer, and it works often enough because you have enough puck possession that you're kind of expecting people to do some other shit. But if you ever want a good giggle, do Google Ovechkin unplugged controller. That shit's hilarious. So I'm gonna throw the Capitals in annoying. I really want to throw him into most hated just because I can't stand Tom Wilson. He's a garbage piece of shit, and I don't want him in the league anymore. I would say I think the reason why Carolina is in the annoying category, is if you remember their celebrations a few years ago, they used to have a bunch of other shit that they did and did goofy things. And I'm going, you know, it was them and their fans, and they were enjoying it. So leave them alone. But they could be put in annoying. Um, I think that's a better fit for everything. Um, and that's me trying to take all my own biases out and just kind of objectively look at it for from the 90s till now, where have these teams been sitting. Um, the fact that Buffalo and Ottawa are hard to hate absolutely fits. Um, they are essentially just feeder teams, and I feel bad for the fans for both of them. I mean, you have Dominic Hasek and you have Eric Carlson for being your like marquee lifetime players that went nowhere, and you feel bad for them, but I mean, they're along the same lines as the Bills in the 90s. It's hard to hate getting to the Super Bowl 4 times in a row, but it's funny as fuck when you lose all 4 of them. Like, damn. Y'all couldn't have squeezed in one win? Really? You'd be like, all right, 5th time's the charm. Fucking no. Damn. And Seattle, you have to put them there because they weren't as fortunate as Las Vegas when it came to their initial team. But yeah, 3 years in, you win the cup. And then you're pretty much being, and they were the ones that started that whole let's wear a gold helmet bullshit. That's just dumb as fuck, man. And now the Kings wear silver ones. Like, Art, what is this? We're gonna start having metallic helmet night? Put some stickers on it. Quit licking your windows, you dipshits. Pisses me off. I'm like, why? LA never had silver helmets until you dipshits had golden ones. Blech. Piss me off. But yeah, I think this is more of a, like I said, as much as I can be non-biased, I still want to put hard to hate here, but I think because people are getting agitated because we'll go in and just mollywop a bitch, like that would put us in rivals, not annoying. But yeah, I think this fits better. I would love to have a 6th categories of fuck 'em and Trashville, the Queens, Chicago, Boston's bitch ass, and Detroit could all go and fuck them. I'd probably throw Minnesota in there too, just because y'all were insufferable when you got Parise and Suter, at least for the first 2 seasons. So anyway, yeah, that's that's my fixed list from fuck, where'd it go? From this one. I don't know if I might be able to. Oh, no. Get out of here. There. There's your better list. Only Boston and Vegas remained. Rivals, Tampa Bay, and Dallas. Yeah. Uh, shit. Just Minnesota. In annoying. Took half of the hard to hate out and just flooded the shit out of the bottom of who cares. But yeah, I think that's a much better overall picture of everything. Um, oop, there we go. But yeah, um, I'm always interested in hearing what other people have to say about it. So feel free to let me know what you think. And yeah, um, I feel like my soul has calmed, correcting that horrific mistake that they had done of having such an atrocity of a list. So there you go. There's your updated list. Um, as always, thank you all for watching. If you got any suggestions for things you want me to talk about, throw them in a comment. I mean, shit, I got info on all kinds of shit. But y'all have a great one, and I'll see you soon. Take care.